Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and the Swamp Thing, Season 1, Episode 1, The Emerald Heart. Wow, this was good. The most surprising part about this is that they took the absolute bare scratching the surface minimum from the comic books. Any of the comic books. And they're like, yeah, man, we're just going to take, here are the actual characters and F everything else, man. We just going straight in, balls to the wall, completely on our own. And it still worked. It still worked. There was not a whole lot that they kept from the comic books, except for like people's names. You know what I'm saying? Like even Abigail's hair. It's like, she looks like she's brunette. I'm sorry. Ain't she supposed to have blonde with like the black stripe? What's going on, man? Like, nope. We ain't doing it. We ain't doing it. And she's supposed to be from Transylvania too. But you think about it, man, that worked back in what was that, 72? That worked back then. That was before I was even born. It worked. Ain't gonna work so well now though, is it? You can't just have somebody come home from Transylvania and all of a sudden making their home in the freaking swamps of Louisiana. Come on, man. That just won't work. So I dug this, man. They really took deep dives into this, and they said, just take what we got, take the gist of the story for this first episode. I almost said issue. Let's just make this like it's a brand new reboot. Boom, just go full in, which is pretty damn impressive because it's the exact opposite of what they did with Doom Patrol. Doom Patrol, I was in love with, man. Doom Patrol, they were like, we're going to take from the comic book. Which one? Because a lot of people wrote it. Take from them all. And they somehow made it work. They really made that work well. This one, they're like, this is the person's name, and we'll mostly keep the genders the same. Dude, they had Xanadu in this, Madame Xanadu. That was cool. Sorry, guys, she's black in this one. Sorry. Wow. This was a fantastic episode. So, the actors, man. First off, the actors. They got some pedigree actors for this, too. They weren't clowning around, dude. What do you call it? Virginia Madsen. Yo, they got Virginia Madsen for this. She's been in a bunch of different anime. She was in, the Spider-Man animated. She was in the... there was the Fox one, I believe. She was in the... Justice League. I believe she's in the Justice League. But most importantly, what I remember her the most from, Dune. She was the Princess Irulan, man. She was in the David Lynch Dune, 1984, 85, 86, whatever year that came out. I mostly liked that one a lot, except, the Weirding Way was not guns. It's not the guns, dude. It's not guns. It's not the Weirding Way, man. Everything else, though, really great. They got the internals out, everything, but like Princess Irulan, man. She played Princess Irulan. So that right there, as far as I'm concerned, that gives her top billing pedigree, as far as I'm concerned. And in this, she was mean. She was frightening mean. Like, I have never seen in my life a person just come up and talk about, hi, so listen, my daughter died and I became an alcoholic. My husband was getting ready to divorce me. My life sucked, and I'm going to make your life miserable. Without Virginia Madsen acting in that, you don't get that. You don't get to take this and turn it into that. That doesn't happen. It's never happened before. And this, she was mean, frightening mean. And at the same time, until Abigail goes and explains herself, you're like, maybe she got a point. What do you call it? Will Patton is in this also as Virginia Madsen's husband. And I can't remember if he was in any animated before. He might have been, but he's definitely one of us. He played Quentin Glass. I had to look up his name on IMDb. I'm actually looking at it right now. Quentin Glass. If you remember the Thomas Jane Punisher movie, that he was the dude who was like pulling the metal piercings out of the one dude's face. He's like, you like pain? You like pain? Let's find out about pain, right? Just bam. That was the dude. Wow. They got some good actors in this, dude. Um, they it's cool because like they didn't dive right into Swamp Thing. The whole time I'm thinking Swamp Thing's doing this stuff, Swamp Thing's doing that stuff, Swamp Thing's doing all this stuff. No. I have a different theory now. And I think this is going to be a running theory where I'm going to keep on updating it and changing it and sometimes scrapping it completely. But for now, here's my deal. Somehow these knuckleheads, went and opened up a passage to the green. Okay, just a little tiny pinprick of a passage into the green. If anybody's not overly familiar with this incredible Alan Moore creation, which led into so much more in the DC Comics, the green is basically the parliament of trees. It's all the vegetation, the proper vegetation, flora and fauna. The mushrooms are something different. We'll get into the fungi in a moment. But it's basically the living embodiment of all of plant life. You know what I'm saying? Now, that being the case, the green, for the most part, is actually kind of evil. As far as, from a certain point of view, right? We're talking some old school Bendy Konobi stuff here. From a certain point of view, it wants to eradicate human life and restart the earth, from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying, it took the word to fight them back. Like, they eternally on fire at this point, which has been changed recently. There's also the gray. Oh, anyway, so the green, this was all existing prior to there being a Man-Thing. Swamp Thing. My bad. Man-Thing did come out, like, a month earlier? So there's that, and the stories are very similar. So go figure how that happened, Mr. Len Wein. Still love you for creating Wolverine, but I don't know what happened with this whole Swamp Thing thing. Anyway, what do you call it? So Swamp Thing, he shows up at the very, very end of this. And I'm impressed. Like, I thought they were just going to have the Swamp Thing doing all this stuff because he's a very questionable individual. He doesn't always do what the Green wants. Good thing for us. He doesn't always do the heroic thing. Good thing for the Green. Good thing for him. He is an enigma. The moment you think, he's like a Rowdy Piper. Every time you think you figured out the rules, he changes the game. You know what I'm saying? So this was really good. This had a feel for so many different series. There was 7 volumes of the Swamp Thing? It got rebooted a lot of times because people loved it. You can't just have one single run because they've changed the DC universe all the time. In Marvel, if you have multiple different reboots and whatnot, for the most part, it's because they're just trying to drum up sales again. Not so with the with any of the DC comics. They do things differently there because every 5 years or so, there's actually the major reboot. So having 7 reboots or more, whatever it was, it shows that there was a lot of love for this character. It's like, oh, we're ending this universe. We're going to start a whole new universe for another 5 years. We got to have a Swamp Thing comic book, right? Right. You do. So this is great in the sense that if you didn't read the comic books, any of the comic books, the only thing is that there won't be any Easter eggs for you. And there may be some Easter eggs here and there. I guess like Madame Xanadu was an Easter egg here. I can't wait to see what they're going to do with that. And this is cool because in some ways it's like, I can't remember the name of the dude because I didn't read the comic books that had him in it. But the magic guy, the guy was supposed to be like an excessive version of John Constantine back in the Doom Patrol issues, the ones done by Grant Morrison. So in the recent Doom Patrol series, there was 2 episodes that had this dude in. I can't remember his name right now, but you know what I'm talking about. If you watch the show, you can't forget this guy. Back when the eye was looking down, they had him in it. Plus, you got John Constantine over in the other show, the CW universe. I think he just made a reappearance in Legends of Tomorrow or something like that. Whatever. I don't know. I almost don't care. I wish it would just stop so that we could just see him over here. And I would be totally cool with the same actor because he really pulls off John Constantine. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, better than Keanu Reeves. But Keanu Reeves was playing an entirely different version of John Constantine. So I 100% understand where that's coming from. But with this, like, that was a good movie. Sorry, I'm one of those people of that school. I believe that was a really good movie. I just understand it was a very different version of John Constantine. But here, I would love to see that dude. I don't know his name because I don't watch the CW verse anymore. I don't have regular TV, so it's hard to get a hold of those episodes. But I would love to see him over here. But whatever, if he's not going to come over here, then I say just let John Constantine wait until next season. All right, seriously. If this show is going to be as good as it was for this episode, I think we'll be okay. I think that we're going to get a season 2. I have zero doubts in my mind. So Xanadu could easily replace Constantine in this. Zero doubt in my mind. There'd be very little reworking. It would be more about her getting other people to do the work for her, namely Abigail, as opposed to John Constantine doing it himself. You know what I'm saying? But all those same stories could be told, or they could just go their own route with this. I do believe the Gray, that's the fungi I was talking about earlier, I do believe the Gray is going to have something to do with this, because they did mention fungi in this at one point. So I'm really hoping that we do have, because the comic books had that incredible battle between the green and the gray, you know? That would be really cool. Maybe even, I'm sure we're going to see, I have zero doubt in my mind that Woodard, the Floronic Man, I'm almost positive. And you can go and check out the Floronic Man Explained in a Minute on Comic Book University. Go and look that up. If you're not familiar with who he is, go check it out, because that's a cool one. Did that on vacation 2 years ago. Literally, yeah, 2 years ago. Wow. I need to start doing more Explained in a Minutes. But, dude, this was good. The way that they opened this up and the way they ended this episode, they can go any damn where that they want from this point on. And let's be realistic. They could lead us with a leash. They could tie a pork chop to the back of their car. We're going to follow them wherever they go, because this was a great first episode, an amazing first episode. Yeah, I am seriously looking forward to seeing all of these characters coming into play. What the heck was his name? Shoot. Tell me I didn't. Oh, man. The black guy who plays the dude, the black guy who plays, he's the only black guy on the show for the most part. The guy who plays the cop, I can't remember what his name is, because he wasn't in it for too long. He wound up dying at some point, but like, he's in the show, and that's great, because there's now we've got the potential for a love triangle, because we know that of course she's going to wind up marrying Alec, right? She gets with that, like, that's the big relationship, Abigail and Alec. So this dude coming along, technically, if I'm remembering correctly, he was married to her at first. And then they wound up like splitting. Oh no, because he died. Yeah, he died, and then she wound up marrying Alec, the Swamp Thing. Okay, I think I got this down now. So the Alec Holland thing, and she was originally married to this dude. What the heck was his name? Crap! Can't remember his name now. But it was cool seeing him. And he's not a jerk. Right? He was not a jerk in this one. So that was cool. Plus, you got Alec, you got Abigail, and these two's background, both complicated, but so completely dissimilar from each other, right? She murdered someone. I don't know how exactly that worked. And he's over here, he wound up forging some results to prove. The way the scientific method works is, if you do something, it's not considered a proof until someone else comes along and they can independently recreate exactly the same results that you got. Then also we can start talking about theories and laws. You know what I'm saying? Because all the paperwork in the world doesn't mean anything if someone else can't independently recreate your results. And no one else could, so he recreated it and fudged the results. Wow, that's really messed up. That's messed up, man. Fake news, I'm calling it right now. More than that, again, back to the beginning, that scene between Virginia Madsen, I don't remember her character name in this, what do you call it, and Abigail, Abigail Arcane, she still got her maiden name, what do you call it, she was crying a lot for the, you know, not just for that scene. Later on, she was crying when she was thinking about it too, right? Seems like she's overly empathetic, right? If you remember in the comic books, if you read the comic books, I believe every version of her had empathy, meaning that she had telepathy, so she could read people's thoughts, but empathy, where much like a mantis over in the Guardians of the Galaxy, she can read people's emotions. And also she had telekinesis. I don't know how far they're going to get into her powers. All right, later on, I don't know how far they're going to get into her powers. I'm pretty sure they're going to bring that up though, because like she was so empathetic. She was feeling the pain. I think that's what it really is. She was feeling the pain that Virginia Madsen was projecting, you know? So that's why I think that she was so crying-like in this. Dude, I could sit here and dissect this episode for an hour, but then you might as well just watch the, rewatch the episode, right? This was awesome. I forgot this was coming out so soon. I wish they would have given us more of a break because, like, Doom Patrol just ended, but okay. Give us more of a break, dude. Give us some more breathing space. Does this come out on Fridays or Saturdays? Because I just got home from vacation yesterday, and I watched this overnight, but I didn't have time to actually make this until later on. The sun's up now. But yeah, like, what day does this actually come out? Is it Saturdays or Fridays? I don't recall. I gotta make sure I know. Anyway, yeah. I'm just gonna call that it for now. Like I said, I could break this freaking episode down forever. All the little tidbits that they threw in here, but I'm so satisfied with this first episode. I'll give it the first 4 episodes before I make a final decision. Do I love this series right now, or is it just that first episode was good, but everything else just kind of because that happens. Anyway, guys, that's gonna be it for me. I'm out. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.